What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wealth Not Wait. I am your host, as always, Joseph Coizza, and jumping right into it, today we are talking about something that has occurred in my life, a big event, something that I am taking a step towards that hopefully is going to affect and improve the rest of my life. I'm recording this at 3 o'clock in the morning because I want this to be very real, very genuine. I'm tired. I've done a lot of thinking for quite a long time, especially now, in the heart of it, getting ready. Today is the last day at my job. I have quit my job, put in my 2 weeks notice. This is now officially the end of the 2 weeks. Friday the 13th, day hopefully this is coming out. I'm going to try and upload it the same day that I'm recording this and also leave my job. For those of you who know, who heard me talk about it a little bit, I've been working in retail for the past year and a half-ish, ever since the restaurant closed. Specifically now, I could talk about this a little bit more. You don't want to talk about really when you get employed, but Target. I've been working for Target over here in Pinellas County. I've been working for one of the many Targets that we have. Not a super Target, but a regular Target. And it has been a crazy and wild kind of adventure for the past year and a half. And that's, I know, kind of odd to say about a retail job, but it is. So I'm just going to talk about how I decided to take this next step, what it has been like for me, and where I'm hoping to go from here. So starting, about a year and a half ago, March of 2020, just before the pandemic hit, I applied in February, got the job almost immediately. I knew some people who worked there at the time. I figured, hey, Target, $15 an hour. They paid the best of everybody there. Let me go. I applied the same week, or the week after we closed the restaurant. Applied that week and got the job pretty quickly. I had to wait for a month for orientation, which kind of sucked, but it's the policy, the way they do things. Background checks, this, that. A month after you start, they do an orientation. The whole nine. It is what it was. I didn't need the money that desperately. I luckily was able to prepare because I knew the restaurant was going to close. They said the best time to look for a job is when you already have a job. I had already prepared for this transition, and I was kind of out of a job at that moment, but I was still able to figure it out. But I got the job and immediately jumped right into COVID. Like, it was first week COVID. Like, we didn't even have masks on yet. That's how early in COVID it was. Everybody's like, yeah, it's been kind of crazy, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the last couple more months, blah, blah, blah. And I just, went from there. Starting off very early, I was just your basic run-of-the-mill checkout advocate. I was working up front. I got introduced to so many amazing people who I actually had some connections to from my past, friends, family, stuff like that, people who I knew, or people who I knew, friends of friends. And I got introduced to people who would essentially be my coworkers and become my Target family for the foreseeable future. A lot of people right off the bat that I got to know. I still know and are still there to this day, and I have very fond memories and great times that I've shared, laughter, love, everything. I met them basically right off the bat, and they've been there for a long time, some of them just started along with me. For my initial orientation group, there was nobody left but me. I was the one who lasted the longest. A little win for me. A lot of great people who got in, not a lot of great people who unfortunately stayed though. People who stayed are great people, but I'm saying of those great people who got in at the same time I did, not a lot of them stayed. That's what I was getting at. People who work there are great. I don't want to misconfuse that. But overall, it was kind of rough getting into it. As far as meeting people's standpoint, really not talking to anybody too much, just kind of getting in and getting the lay of it. But after just like a month, I was like I knew everybody. Within a couple weeks, really, I knew everybody. Everybody knew me, and I didn't know who the fuck these people were. I worked hard. I worked my absolute ass off, like I talk about all the time. When you go do anything, work hard and give it 100%. Right away, I made Employee of the Month the first fucking month I was working there, and people loved me to death. I was getting 40 hours a week. They didn't give overtime at that point, but it was 40 hours a week, just kicking ass, just really doing good. The superstar newbie Joe, and that's how it was. I made some really great friends, and I worked very hard for it. That continued working all the time, going through, making great friends and great memories, and people I still talk to this day with carts, flying down the street, and I'm laughing, like, well, what the fuck was that during, like, hurricanes and stuff, wild storms and jokes and fucking guests coming in screaming, yelling about the toilet paper and paper towel, people thanking you like I'm some sort of fucking hero. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. It's just like, I'm cleaning, a handle. But part of it was like, oh, hey, I'm helping my community. This is one of the few places still open. People need to go here and get their food and stuff. I'm helping provide a clean and a sanitary, as best as I can at least, environment for them to shop and continue on their lives during this difficult time. It gave me a sense of purpose and kind of derived it from the community. It gave me a sense of bigger than myself, which I had to the restaurant, knowing we served the community for 40 years. I was now serving the community, but in a different way. And then they donate to United Way, part of your paycheck, you could donate to it. Went in and did all that stuff as well. knowing then furthering the fact that I was helping the community by being a part of this work environment. And then I also got to make great friends, and we were all working together to help this community and help just in general the local area. I've been shopping at this local Target forever, but I now actually got to work there, and it's been a crazy trip, and it's been exciting to talk to people and learn. There's been people who I'm sure I'll tell stories going through it, but just been fucking customers who are assholes, or guests as we like to call them, but then just team members who are just absolutely amazing people, and some guests who are absolutely amazing people. A lot of fun stories, a lot of stuff that progressed from there to now. And before I should talk about anything else, I just want to say how grateful and how happy I am to have met these people, to have these people in my life. It's never easy to say goodbye. It's more of a see you later, but it's never easy to say that see you later, to say goodbye, to move on from things. It happened at the restaurant, it happened with me in high school. I'm just kind of a sentimental person who, when people, really good, great people get in my life, it's hard to separate that. People who aren't good for me, it's really easy to when that moment comes to then say, okay, I'm sentimental about it, but I know these people have to go. These people aren't like that. A lot of these people are really great people, and I look forward to talking to and hanging out with in the future. But it's I'm very happy to be moving on to my next steps, which again I'll get into. But the one thing that kept me there so long, and that really bothers me even still, is now leaving these great people who I've grown to call my target family. And that's very difficult to do. Is separate myself from them. I have my one friend who we were talking about it. The day I quit, I put in my 2 weeks. I told everybody about it. I didn't tell anybody, not my family, no one, until I initially dropped the bomb in HR. I didn't want to get out. I didn't want anybody to talk me out of it, because I know I'm going to be moving on to bigger, better things. And I just, even still, there was like a part of me in the back of my head who was like, do you really want to do this? Is this really what's going to go on? Do you want to? But I already made a promise to myself a long time ago that around this time I'd do it. Like 6 months ago, I made the promise that I was like, I know I need to move on. I know I need to do stuff. And then finally I set a date like 3 months beforehand. And then just everything serendipitous just kind of worked out to that day that I had already planned was going to be the day. And I said, I got to do it today. I sucked up my pride. I went over walkie. I found where HR was at, and we sat down. We had a great conversation. It was very nice, very productive, very not hostile, very not bad, just great, congratulatory, because again, I'm moving on. I'm not just quitting because I hate the job or anything like that. I'm moving on, and they were very happy for me. So part of the reason, and the big reason why I'm moving on, is because I am going with this full time, going for any of the little ventures and businesses and things that I'm going to be doing in the future, photography, everything. I am someone who is very much like I heard Jeff Bezos say at one point, you can live a life of ease and comfort, or you can live a life of service and adventure. And that really resonated with me, as I'm sure many of you would know. And I want to live that life of service and adventure. I am 21 years old, going to be 22, early next year, but I have time. It's something that not a lot of people realize is they have time. I could do whatever I want to do and fail a million times in the next 10, 12 years, how long it takes, and then get that big success, and I'll be 30. People are like, you gotta be have your life figured out by 30, this, that. Who gives a fuck? 30, if I figure things out, and 32, I get everything I need and I want, and I do this, and the things I really figure out and want in life, I get to that point, I still have 50 something years until then, maybe more, until I die, hopefully, God willing, if I keep taking care of myself, 50 plus years to really enjoy it and continue on with life. And then enjoying it all the way, because I love building businesses, I love progressing stuff, I love doing photography, I love, building brands, I love trying new things and finding challenges and, failing and learning from that failure and building things up. Like, just not really want to get into it, don't want to talk about it too much right just yet, but I went to convention to show off this product that I was doing, and I only sold 2 of them, and I really needed to sell 13 to break even, and I failed miserably at sales, but I got my name out there. I learned a lot of people. Learned that probably that convention probably wasn't the best thing for me to do. I got to see an old friend who just so happened to be sitting next to me. An old friend from the restaurant just so happened to have a booth set up right next to mine. Unscripted, unknown, completely fucking at random, and we just ran into him. And I was just like, holy shit. And then me and him were joking around. We kind of did a little combined booth thing for a point, and then the people behind us were really great. It was a really great family. who they were doing their thing and they were, selling to the convention. Not me with a random homemade kind of product thing. And we just had this big connection. We were joking around. I learned a lot about the community. I got to meet, some great people. I got to meet some artists in the community, both music artists and actual, painting artist type thing. I got to meet a lot of people in my field, people who aren't in my field, people in similar fields, and I got to have this great experience, and it's something I'm 100% going to do in the future, but I know right now what I need to improve on, what I need to progress, what I need to put my main focus to, and get better. I love doing shit like that. I know I'm rambling because I love it. The whole eyes, oh, wow, go bright, and I love it, and I love doing stuff like that. I want that life of service and adventure, and I need to do that. Working at Target, I went from 40 hours a week to like 15 hours on my own accord. No one pushed me out like that. Because I didn't want to be there all the time. I wanted to keep doing things and create videos. There was a time in there where I went through some hard time with a friend of mine, and that kind of then pushed me to give up a little bit easily on making videos. As you guys know, from like May of last year until the beginning of this year, 2021, I didn't make a whole lot of videos. A friend of mine was going through an issue, a tough time at the moment, and then I was working all the time, and it was just real easy to kind of slip off. It's real easy. I gained like 10, 12 pounds from working there, and I was like getting closer to 200 pounds, and I don't want to be 200 pounds. I'm happy with myself and my body, and I love my body, and, that I'm not like, oh, I'm, fat or nothing. I'm not doubting myself, or I'm all upset with myself. It's just like, hey, I'm straying away from this goal that I was putting myself towards. I'm working backwards. I don't want to do that. I was also under a lot of stress, a lot of stuff going on, working in retail, especially when you're the person who's like, I'm going to bust my ass, I'm going to do everything. And they look to you for that guidance and that kind of leadership. I love, the pressure and all that stuff for it. But when it's not your own, when it's you have to do this, follow by these rules, and go through this like a corporate job, not saying Target specifically, but just any job in general. And then you also have a very set like path. I know what my day is going to be like. A lot of people enjoy that. A lot of people enjoy the repetition. I want my day to be different. I have no fucking clue what I'm going to do tomorrow type thing. And just figure it out. Like, I have goals, I have things I want to do, but how that happens, how that transponds, what's going to go on, I love that. At the restaurant, we'd be on a Friday, we'd be fucking slammed. We never knew how slammed, Target, it was just, we were busy as fuck. And, occasionally then it went from every day was an adventure to once a month I get an adventure to maybe once every 2 months. I got to do Christmas at COVID. I got to do all that stuff, and things were a little different. And I want to spend time with my family. You have to be on call a little bit. They call you up on your days off sometimes. Hey, you want to come in? You, of course, under no obligation to say yes, but that's still there. The whole thing of you're here now. You got to make sure you're following through with this and that pressure for it. It's just not something I constantly wanted to do with. Just that job in general. Again, not Target specifically, not saying, but just retail, working for somebody else in general was not necessarily what I wanted to do. I always said, I don't want to work for somebody who's less smart than me, making less money than they do while they tell me what to do. And I had some amazing leads, so I wanted to come off like that. Some amazing people who you're in a managerial position. I can think of at least 3 or 4 in particular who were absolutely fucking fantastic, who taught me a lot, who joked around, who really connected with me, who was able to see the world in the same way I did and see the world in completely different ways. And then of course you have your some who just kind of suck. I could think of again 2 in particular. Some of them grow on you, some of them just kind of suck. It's the way it's going to be when you have other people managing you. But I primarily remember the good. Going through it now and saying goodbye to all these people. I remember all the good. I remember all the good and all the happiness. Having that job was able to have me get my Corvette, which I worked my fucking ass off between that and Ubering. I worked, I'd say probably fucking 60 to 80 hour weeks for like 3 months doing the Corvette, between Target itself, 40 hour weeks, and then Ubering, 5-10 hours, a time. I say probably maybe closer to 60, 70. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, like the 60 range at least. Hour weeks, and then saving every little bit that wasn't investing or going somewhere that I needed to go. All this extra money, all this new money I was making, leaving the restaurant, and just going right into that, and then purchasing that. I went through beach houses, went through holidays with it, went through tough times with friends. New friends, breakups, everything I went through with this, and it allowed me to build new businesses, to further fund this, to really get into it. and just have new experiences in life. I am forever grateful for the things that this has given me. And of course, money that I save and invest. I make more money than I have at the restaurant. Of learning to file tax returns and set stuff up and really be the first real job type thing. Busing was a first real job. They weren't family at the time, and I was getting paid for it, and I worked my ass off. And then we went into it again after I already became kind of like a managerial position. We owned it, and then I had a job doing that. But this is the first kind of corporate job type thing, making a paycheck from a big corporation, S&P 500 type business thing. And this was the first time doing that, and hopefully the fucking last, because I never want to work for anybody else ever again. It's just the way I'm built is not to be structured underneath somebody, as you guys know. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm moving on from it, and telling everybody that everybody was the most supportive, and not a single person said, Joe, I think that's a fucking stupid idea. Everybody was like, Joe, I love that. Oh my God, I didn't know you wrote a book, or I didn't know you did this, or that's so great, or I knew you were going to be something big, or that's amazing. Hey, one day I'm going to say, I knew that guy. Keep in touch. We love you. We hope we see you still at all the events. We hope you come out. We hope you do all the trivia night stuff. And it was absolutely amazing to have all these people give me this love and compassion and this care. And it really meant the world to me. And I have all these people I want to talk to, and then people were almost crying, not crying. I'm not gonna give myself that much credit, but the people were almost crying the fact that, hey, we're not gonna see as much anymore. And I was like, yeah, of course we'll hang out. All my close friends there who I see at least weekly anyway, outside, and they're just like, Joe, we're gonna miss you, and I'm gonna miss them too. I'm excited to be moving on to new things, but I'm gonna miss them a lot as well. And the job itself, I was just very, like I said, not happy with. Not because it was necessarily a bad job. I do think there's things that Target work on. I have a fucking list if anybody's ever interested. But I think for me, what boils down to it is those could still all be overlooked if I was the kind of person to just work a job and want to move up a corporate ladder. I had no desire to do that. My plan originally was maybe I'll work there 5-10 years, who knows, but eventually I am going to leave and eventually do something like this full time when it takes off. I know now that wasting 5 years at something I'm not wholeheartedly invested in is horrible. I need to take the risk, I need to do it, and I'm going to make it work because I'll learn from all my failures, and eventually it could be fucking 10 years down the line. I'll make it work. It's not a case of if it's going to happen. It is going to happen. It's just a case of when. But I'm going to enjoy every moment of it, and I'm going to live the life I'm happy with. I want to live that life of freedom and service and adventure. And I get to do that now. Starting tomorrow, starting Saturday, I close. So when I close Friday and I walk through those doors, that's it. That life starts then. It's kind of big, and it, honest to God, terrifies the fuck out of me, but that's how I know I'm doing it right, and I'm also so excited, so I know it's the right thing, because it both scares me and takes me out of my comfort zone, but it is also fills me full immense amounts of joy and happiness, because I'm just imagining all the places I'll go, things I'll do, and people I will see. So I just, and Steve Jobs' quote also rings through my head, as I know, and I talk about it, I butcher it all the time, I'm sure, but if you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, if today was the last day I had on earth, what I want to do, what I'm about to do today. And when the answer is no, too many days in a row, it's time for a change. And quite honestly and quite frankly, the answer was no for too many days in a row. I don't want to stand there and just check angry people out. I don't want to stand there and stare at screens all day. I don't want to stand there and point and push some buttons. I don't want to occasionally deal with the out of the way kind of thing. I really enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy helping people with their problems. But a lot of it became repetitive for quite a while. And the route I see it going is going to be continually repetitive for quite a while. It's not a job where you don't know how the world's going to hit you that day and do things. It's very much a comfort and ease, very easy job to do for $15 an hour. There's some aspects of it, like drive up here, run your ass around in under 2 minutes. That's fucking very difficult. When you're standing there pointing things out and you're somebody like me who can manage a schedule, you can do self-checkout very well. If you can do checkout very well, you put things in a bag. Okay, it's not that fucking hard. It really isn't. Again, there's aspects of it that are very difficult. There's aspects of it that are not. Some people's, differences, mileage may vary type thing. But it wasn't a very difficult thing for me. And ultimately, I want something that challenges me. I want something that pushes me to be better. There's a lot I've learned from that job. But the opportunity cost of not learning more from going out and doing it on my own is significant. If I learned 100,000 things here at this job over the course of the next, 20 years, I'd learn a million plus 100 million things, just trying to figure out business and do things myself over the course of the next 10 years. And, I'd be infinitely further ahead in my goal, the life I want to live, new adventures, new people, new horizons, compared to here, which still with some really great people and amazing people, but still the same adventures, still the same horizons. Again, with some little difference and variance, but that's basically the gist of it. And that's why I'm leaving, is I was unhappy with the job itself, and I wanted something more. I wanted to be me. I wanted to live the life that I want, and I practice what I preach. It's very difficult to maintain things and continue a job, even 15 hours a week, 20 hours a week. It gets difficult because you're fucking exhausted. You deal with people all day, and people screaming and yelling. You stand there staring at a screen, walking back and forth, doing the same thing. For someone like me, it just drains you. I still had motivation to do stuff. I still obviously continued on and kept with the channel and Instagram and all that stuff. Built new businesses and fucking worked my ass off at Uber every night. For quite a while, but it's time to really to buckle down on this life of service and adventure. There's no time to live like the present. You got to prepare for your future and make sure your future is going to be great, but you also have to live your life now. Live your life now and live it in such a way that not only do you have fun and enjoyment, but it also prepares you for the future. And maintaining a just standard retail job with some potential to move forward isn't really the way I want to do life. So I gotta do it the way I want to do it. That, and I also had some attendance issues because I was unenthused with it. Some talks, I was put on probation. It's like 7 times in a year you call out and they're very upset with you. I don't know. I don't know how that. I don't know. I do agree that it was a lot, and but like year probations, you can't be promoted, and everybody said that was fucking ridiculous. Other than the manager who put me on it. That's a different story. I don't want to talk negative about it. Not at least this moment in time. But I did have some issues with that being the only issue that I had. Otherwise, my review was, you do everything absolutely amazing and you would be a fucking leader by now. Just gotta fix your attendance, which in hindsight isn't great, but also not that bad. That's basically what I got. I also got the lowest raise of everybody in the front end, which also kind of pissed me off. 7 cents compared to everybody else's 40 cents plus. That kind of pissed me off. Especially when you're told, by your district manager, the literal next day. We'll get into the story now. We'll get into the literal next day after getting 7 cents and saying, hey, be lucky you have a job. I was told that I'm the best self-checkout person that my district manager has seen in the entirety of the district. That's like fucking 10 plus stores. So I'm the best out of the fucking 5. That's like 50, 60 people. 5 people do it, consistently at each store. Let's just say out of 10 stores, like 50, 60 people. I'm the best of the district. And yet, I still get a 7 cent raise. That's bullshit. But again, I digress. And I'm happy now to be moving forward, but I'm also crushed to be saying goodbye to all these people. It never gets easy to say goodbye. A friend of mine said, like I said before, I got a lot of hard work coming up, but the hardest thing is saying goodbye. And out of the blue, he just hit me with that. I was like, fuck, yeah, you're right. You're really right. It never gets easy. So that's why I'm leaving. I know I update you guys where I left college, when the restaurant closed. Now I'm quitting and starting what's hopefully going to be the next adventure of my life. And the adventure that continues through my life, building businesses, working with this, talking about it, educating people, helping people. I want to really bring value to people's lives and just experience the world for what it is and learn and become this great thing and build businesses and brands and really leave this world better than when I came into it. And that starts now, along with being unhappy with the job itself. I'm ready to move forward and do something new now. The one big thing that I see being an issue is saying goodbye to all the wonderful and great people. So if any of them are watching, which I'm sure some of you are, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the laughs. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for being there with every fucking crazy customer. Thank you for helping me with all the issues that I've come up with. I'm sure I've helped with some of yours. I would hope at least. Thank you for being at all the parties. Thank you for being at my birthdays. Thank you for helping me along, congratulating me on all the good, and consoling me through all the bad. Thank you for everything and truly being a part of my life. I will always remember you guys and would not be where I am today or who I will be in the future if it was not for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Big old good thank you to Target Corporation as well for hiring me and giving me that wonderful experience, letting me wear red every day, as I know I loved it. I hate the pants, but I learned to wear linen pants, and linen pants was great. Thank you for helping me push to find linen pants. And thank you for giving me this opportunity and giving me great money for the work I had to do. And for giving me the option to live a comfortable life if I so choose. But that is not where my areas align, you know. I know a lot of people are quitting. The great resignation I talked about before. I had this planned out way before then, you copycats. But now this is my adventure. This is my journey. I'll be hopefully updating, continuing further on. But yeah, I'm going to be broadening my horizons and fixing the fact that I wasn't happy where I was at completely, and moving on and moving forward. Just have to get through it and say goodbye to some very wonderful people. Well, not goodbye, but I'll see you later. To some very wonderful and amazing people. I'm sure I'll talk about it. I'm sure there's absolutely things I'm forgetting, and this video is already too long. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to work out too, and I have work in like fucking 10 hours. So, yeah. I just want to thank everybody. Thank the Target Corporation. Thank you to all my friends and Target family for everything, for giving me the opportunity that I had, and making my experience there a wonderful one. I look forward to moving forward and doing great and amazing, wonderful things with hopefully all of you and within this world. And I'm doing it all with you in mind. I hope it makes you guys proud. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to put in a comment below what's a job you had to leave from, or that you left, or that or had to leave from for a better opportunity. What do you remember from it? What made you better? What job were you really happy to have? And what people did you take away from it? I hope you guys really enjoyed this video again, and I hope it make you proud. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.